Hello, my name's Dave and welcome to my first Q&A video where I'll be answering the questions about guitar and music that you have left for me in my comments section, so let's get cracking. Please give me some beautiful chord for love song. I need more YT channel like yours, so keep it up. That's very kind and thanks for the great questions. So, you've got tons of options available to you, but I think a good place to start is to choose a nice sounding chord progression, something that sounds quite resolved. You don't want it to sound tense or sad. So let's go for a C major. So we're in the key of C major. Let's go C major for a first bar. Now I personally think that you can play the 1 chord to a 1 chord as a major 7. And I think that that always has a really nice sound to it. So C major, take the first finger off to get C major 7. Really nice sounding change. Now we can then go to the 6 chord, the relative minor, so that'll be an A minor in this case, or we could make it an A minor 7 in fact. That could sound quite nice. Then we could try going to an A sus2 maybe. Just add a little bit of movement to the chord progression. And I always think that sus2 chords have quite a nice, I don't know what word I'd use to describe it, kind of like a tranquil kind of sound. Really nice sounding chord. And then let's finish it with an F chord, which should lead us back to the first chord quite well. And the only thing I would do with a progression like this now to make it sound really nice is just to add some hammer-ons to it. And I think that sounds pretty decent, to be honest, and I hope that fits the brief, so good luck with that one, pal. What was the first album you ever bought? I actually remember this quite vividly. So it was 1990, so quite a long time ago now, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were the most amazing thing in the world. My mum and dad took me to the cinema to see the film, and the very next day I spent my pocket money buying the soundtrack to the film. So the first album I ever bought was the soundtrack to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film. Can you make a video on how to play the guitar like the Strokes? I've actually had quite a few comments asking for this. Yes, I can make this video. In fact, I already have made this video, so check the link in the top corner or the link in the description box below this video to check that video out. Connor has asked a few questions, and this first one is, I wondered if you could talk about your musical goals throughout the years and how and if they have changed and why. I've been doing music for, I'd say, 20 years or more now, so obviously I've had different goals and I've done different things and I've pursued different avenues of music, like live performance, playing in bands, songwriting, recording, studying, teaching, dep work. There's just loads of different things, and I've had different goals for everything, and these goals do change, and every avenue you pursue comes with its own musical journey as well. Now, the way it all started for me was just wanting to join in with my friends when they were jamming. Jamming and making music was a big part of my social group, and it was something that we did every single day. And I always found this creative aspect of music the most interesting thing to me. And when I first started to play guitar, I was quite good at just playing around and finding things that I thought sounded alright. So let's just say when I was at home, I was playing around with this G to a C chord, and I was just really enjoying the sound of it. Dead simple, but just enjoying the sound of it. If I took this to the jam session with the guys, I was fine, because I'd just play this and everyone would join in around me, and I'd just enjoy the music and hear it evolve around us. But if someone else came to the jam session with a chord progression, even if it was just this exact same chord progression, to be honest, I just didn't really know what to do. So I would say from very early on in my musical journey, this became my goal. I wanted to learn as much as possible so I could find things to play in any musical situation. And I don't think this goal has ever really changed, and all the other things I've pursued and the other avenues of music I have gone down have all kind of been with this in mind. I'd love to hear about your musical influences past and present. I would honestly say that my greatest influences have always been my friends. I'd watch my friends play and I would try to remember little things that I would hear them do or see them play, and then I'd go home and I'd try and make my own things from what I remembered. How do you stay motivated to continue to create even in ruts? Okay, so motivation for me comes from things being fun. If it's not fun, then I just have a break from it. I mean, there was a time when I didn't actually enjoy playing guitar, so for a couple of years I didn't play at all, apart from in lessons when I was teaching. But in this time I tried something new, and I played drums for a band, and I learned a lot from doing this. So one of my suggestions that I'd always say to try if you feel like you're still having fun trying to make music, but you do feel like you're in a rut, would be to try and learn something new. It doesn't need to be something drastic like learning a new instrument, but just try and maybe learn some new chord progressions or something, and then try and implement what you've learned, or even just a small part of what you've learned, into your music. And that is something that has always helped me. When it comes to ruts though, I personally think the ruts are something that you need to kind of work out of your system and just keep creating. You might make something that you just don't like at all, but you've got it out of your system. Then you'll make something else, and you might not like what you made as well, but you've got that out of your system. But if you continue to keep creating, you're going to keep learning things. And the more you create and the more you learn, you're going to start making things that you like, and you're going to work your way out of the rut. But also keep in mind what I said before. I mean, working through and just keeping on creating is a good idea, but if it's not fun, just take a break. There's no wrong with taking a break. Songs brilliant. I lad that they are. Live Forever uses an A7, not an A minor. This comment was left on my In the Style of Oasis video, and basically in the video I said that the chord was an A minor when I should have said it was an A minor 7. And Neil, who's a really nice guy, pointed this out to me. But it did get me thinking. Neil made a very common mistake when it comes to chord names, and I think it's a common mistake because if you've never gone down the theory route before, a chord name is just a name. But a chord is named in a particular way. The letter name obviously tells us what the root note is. But if this letter is on its own as an uppercase letter, so let's say we've got the letter C, this means it's a major chord. If the letter has a lowercase m after it, this means it's a minor chord. So C on its own means C major, CM means C minor. And we also have diminished chords and augmented chords as well, but these are our initial chord types. Next, there will be information about if there are any notes to be added to the chord. So if there is a MAJ7 after this, then it means that there is to be a major 7th note added to this chord. And there are a few different ways, a few different symbols that represent major 7th chords. But if you have a C major 7, this means that you've got a C major chord, so a C major triad we call it, with a major 7th note added to it. If you have a CM, so C minor, with a major 7 after it, MAJ7, this means that the chord is a C minor chord with a major 7th added to it. So we also have the number 7 on its own, and the number 7 on its own means that we add a minor 7th interval to the chord. Now this is what we come across when we look at the song Live Forever. When Neil said this is an A7 chord, this would mean it's an A major chord type with a minor 7th note added to it, and we can call this a dominant 7th chord. But in Live Forever, the song that we were talking about, it's an A minor chord with a minor 7th interval added to it, which is written down as AM7 because it's an A minor 7, not an A7. Now this may seem confusing, but this is how chords are written, and if you just want to learn how to play the songs, then the chord names probably won't mean much to you anyway. But if I was given a chord chart and it said to play an A7 instead of an A minor 7, then it won't sound like Live Forever. Is that the classic vibe telly? If so, we have the same one. Great video. I saw this on Reddit, by the way. Awesome. Please feel free to share my videos on Reddit. I'm not really a Reddit user, and I know it's very much frowned upon to just post your videos on there without contributing to the forums, so I won't be posting them on there. But if you guys want to share some of my videos on Reddit, please feel free to do so. You're right that this is a Squier Telecaster, but it's not the classic vibe. It's actually a Squier Affinity. I have changed the pickups from the stock ones that come with the Telecaster to, I think they're Tone Rider Alnico 2s, I think. And I really like the sound of Telecasters, but I just can't afford an actual Fender one, so I got this one instead, and I really like it. I've never played guitar in my life, but I want to play like the Strokes and the Arctic Monkeys. What guitar should I get? I would recommend the Squier Affinity series of guitars. They're pretty good quality instruments and they aren't too expensive. I think this one was about £150, but if that is still too steep, Squier do have a range called the Bullet, so the Squier Bullet guitars, and these are around £100. And to be honest, I think they're pretty decent too. Hey, can you shout me out in the next video, please? And can you help me learn the blues riffs? Okay, so I already made a quick blues riff lesson, specifically for you, in fact, and here's your shout out that you asked for. So, unsubscribe from this channel. I hope you've enjoyed this first Q&A video. Please feel free to subscribe or to unsubscribe from the channel if you so wish. And if you do have any questions that you would like me to answer in the next Q&A video, then please feel free to ask in the comment section below. I'll see you later, guys.